Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be back with you again and talking about one of the most difficult situations, which is an addicted family member, and yet learning different ways to navigate that where we can not just survive but thrive. We know that addictive disease is based in the limbic system. So whether it's substance abuse, gambling, process addictions, codependency, we know that our brain gets very triggered. So what do I mean by triggered? So I want you to think about the first time you got a text or a phone call regarding a crisis with your child. And then I want you to think about the last time you saw their number come up on your phone. And part of what happens when we see that number come up, we know there's trouble. After a few times, our brain immediately goes to crisis mode. So our limbic system starts to excrete massive amounts of cortisol and adrenaline, and our shoulders go up, and our breathing slows down, and our thinking mind closes, and we are reacting. We are no longer able to respond. Now we are total reaction, which means this: we act as we always have. So we don't think, we can't problem solve, we don't pause, we're in fight, flight, or freeze. And there's a new one now called FAWN, F-A-W-N, which is about taking care of everything, which some of us fall into. So what happens with our limbic system and our prefrontal cortex? So if you think about your brain as your hand, this is your brain stem, this is your prefrontal cortex. Under here is your limbic system and all that involves. Flipping your lid is what we do. When we see that phone call, our brain, our thinking brain goes offline and our emotional brain takes over. We yell, we scream, we cry, we fix, we run, we hide, we avoid, we don't answer the phone, we're terrified. We answer with this: what's happened? Especially those calls at 2 or 3 in the morning. I want to teach you today 2 techniques that are so effective. And putting notes up to remind yourself to stop and pause. Whenever we're triggered is not the time to talk. The very first thing we do is close our mouth. Now, I don't know about you, but when I'm triggered, the words are literally beating on the back of my lips to get out because I've got a lot to say. That's because we're trying to calm that down, and spewing words is one way we do that. Not the healthiest way, but certainly one way. So we stop talking, we ask ourselves what's going on, which immediately invokes this prefrontal cortex back online with that question. And then you do some breathing. I remember the first time I heard this, I went to a therapist, a wonderful woman, and my life was a disaster. And she said, I'm going to teach you how to breathe. I said, my life, and I'm not going to say what I said to her because it wasn't very nice. My life is a disaster, and you're telling me to breathe? And she said, I didn't come to see you, you came to see me. Point well taken. And this is what she taught me. It's called box breathing. First responders use it, special ops use it, anybody who needs to have their best mind on board. I mean, you don't want some EMT coming to your house screaming and yelling. You want them calm and able to think. And when you're dealing with your addicted loved one, you want to be calm and able to think. Just like a special ops or a first responder, you do not want to be in reactive brain. So this is how you do it. You breathe in through your nose for the count of 4. You hold it for the count of 4. You blow it out through your mouth for the count of 4. And you do it 4 times. Therefore, the word box. 4 in through your nose, hold it for the count of 4, breathe out through your mouth for the count of 4, and do it at least 4 times. If you have an Apple Watch or an Android, you can actually set it so that it will remind you to breathe. I encourage people who are dealing with addictive disease and active disease or recovering, they're in treatment and you're at home. I want you to do that at least 6 times a day, at least. The second one is called the Physiological Sigh, and babies do this automatically on their own, and some people do it at night while they're sleeping. So you inhale once and then again right on top of it like this. That immediately quiets that central nervous system. It's like our own way to calm it. I challenge you to try this and then put in the comments if it worked. And you can use this in any situation. I do box breathing when I'm talking to people and they don't even know I'm doing it, if I'm triggered by something. Because when you're talking to your person, you see their number come up. Sometimes I don't answer right away. Sometimes I'll text them back, give me 5. Because I want to be in my best thinking to attend to whatever it is that's going on. So we want less stress hormones. Cortisol, ephedrine, adrenaline racing through our body. Shoulders go up. Whenever your shoulders are up, you're telling the brain that you're getting ready to fight or flight. So all you want to do, just dropping your shoulders and taking a few breaths, can put you in a whole different place. And then the physiological sigh can get your best thinking back on board. Think about it. If you're dealing with a situation with your loved one, you want your best thinking there so that I can say, let me think about that and I'll get back to you. And that's when you talk to your people and you figure out your game plan. So we want to not react. We don't want to act like we always have. We want to respond to the situations in our life. I hope this has been helpful to you. Please let me know if you experience this. Use it at night before you go to bed. It can be helpful to calm that limbic system down so you can rest better. I look forward to hearing your comments about that. And if we can be helpful, Treehouse Recovery is more than willing to be helpful. We have a family program that's available to people with their loved ones or in treatment or not. So I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.